The Biden administration is closing a Trump-era office within the Department of Homeland Security, set up to assist American citizens who are victims of crimes allegedly committed by illegal immigrants. Let's bring in former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker for reaction to that and more on the border. Matt, good to have you back.
Hello, Shannon.
This is the headline from the Associated Press. It says U.S. closes Trump-era office for victims of immigrant crime. Goes on to say the Biden administration says it has dismantled a Trump-era government office that was created to help victims of crimes committed by immigrants. They say that it's going to be something different now, Matt. There's going to be an office that's expanded to help all kinds of people, whether they're here illegally or not, versus just the mission of that particular office, which was to help Americans who said they'd been hurt by illegal immigrants. What do you make of the change?
This is a real problem, Shannon. I see victims of crimes as a former prosecutor always needing more resources, not less. And this is going to spread what limited resources are available to those victims of crimes to others that, you know, that maybe are not as worthy or not as deserving, you know, especially if we're giving lawyers to immigrants and helping others that are here illegally. So I think the closing this office sends a really bad signal to victims of crimes and to law enforcement that the Biden administration just doesn't care as much as the Trump administration did.
So let's talk about the border, because its situation has only grown worse, and that's by objective data and numbers coming to us from nonpartisan government offices. One of the issues I want to talk about is the drug trafficking issue. Roll Call had an opinion piece by Senator Portman and Congressman Katko saying this: Biden's border policies are worsening the opioid crisis. Traffickers see a green light to move more fentanyl into the U.S. In the last 6 months alone, Border Patrol has seized 5,400 pounds of fentanyl, enough to kill 1.2 billion people, or the entire population of the U.S. more than 3 times. Now, these lawmakers say the Biden administration's radical policy changes have encouraged the drug cartels to smuggle more unlawful immigrants and lethal illicit substances across our southern border. What do you make of the situation and the rise in things like fentanyl? I mean, I went back to check, and in 2019, U.S. sources say 37,000 Americans died by a fentanyl overdose, and they predict the numbers are only going to be worse.
Yeah, fentanyl is a nasty drug that is really a scourge in many of our communities. And what is happening is the more activity and the more illegal crossings we have on our border, that allows the cartels to potentially send more drugs and more illegal items across the border. Because there's more people to carry it and there's more activity. And so, you know, this fentanyl is obviously, and synthetic opioids generally are killing Americans. It's only getting worse the more that is here in the country and being used. And obviously getting control of the border is the first step in trying to arrest this problem of illegal fentanyl in our communities.
And quickly, I want to get a comment from you. FBI Director Christopher Wray said, yeah, there is cartel activity that is spilling over into the U.S. in a number of things. Partially, he said, he was answering a question about people getting here and then being sort of indentured servants to pay back the cartel for getting them to the U.S. He says, yeah, it's coming across our border, the cartel control and business.
Yeah, Chris is absolutely right. I mean, these cartels are taking advantage of a lax enforcement structure at the border right now, and we're seeing ever-increasing illegal activity, and that is spilling, whether it's the safe houses, whether it's these illegal car chases at high speeds that are injuring and sometimes killing people, and all the other activity you're seeing around this border that is bringing that into the United States and really moving the border north in a very concerning way.
Matt Whitaker, always great to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shannon. Great to see you again.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.